What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another match preview here on the Cup Chasers. That's right, it's the double decker derby. Diego Simeone's parked bus versus Mikel Arteta's parked bus. Whose double decker will take the cake tomorrow evening at the Metropolitano Stadium in Madrid? It's the Champions League semifinal, and I am absolutely pumped for this one. It is nervous for the Arsenal at the moment. It is intense for us at the moment, and that feeling is definitely in the crowd, in the stands, in the fan base. But it's what we want. It's why we're here. It's what we want to see. Of course, the boys competing in the biggest and the best of competitions, because we're still going for it. We're still in it for the league. We're still here in the Champions League for the second season in a row. And I'm pretty confident, pretty pumped that we could maybe just might get it over the line this time. So let's go ahead and smash up the likes for the parked buses in Spain. Let's go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really does help push the channel out to new members here on YouTube. And of course, we would love to welcome any and all to the community. Go and get that notification bell on so you know when we are live. It's very possible we will be doing a watch along today for the Paris versus Bayern game. Of course, thankfully, we do get to watch it this time, as it is not at the same time as the Arsenal game, which, of course, there will be a watch along for tomorrow as well. All right, first things first, when we do these previews, get a little injury update. According to Sports Illustrated, an article that they put out yesterday, as a little bit of a niggle, should be fine. Havertz, it said in the article, a little bit of a niggle, should be expected back on May 2nd for Fulham. Timber is expected back for May 2nd on Fulham, as is Ricardo Calafiori. And I've misspoke. Actually, the Sports Illustrated article said that Havertz should be back for the trip to Spain. And so, of course, we need all hands to the pump. Every single player we can get. And, of course, Bukayo Saka back, Martin Odegaard back. Hopefully, of course, Eze will be just fine to go. We definitely need him in this one. And, I'm back and forth. This is, as much as I make jokes about the double-decker derby, and it's going to be Hiram ball, and it's going to be whose line, who can sit back the deepest and play the best defense, etc. I actually think that this is probably going to be a bit more open than many people expect. I think that this game is definitely going to be one where Madrid go for it. If you look at the complexion of the tie and the fact that we have to travel there first, in recent two-legged ties, Atletico Madrid have beaten Barcelona in the first leg and then held on for dear life in the second leg twice. Smashed them 4-0 at home, actually, at the Camp Nou, which was insane, in the Copa del Rey semifinal first leg, and then held on with the skin of their teeth at the Metropolitano versus some real endeavor from the Catalans. And so I do actually, now that I think of it, kind of expect Diego Simeone to go for it. I expect Madrid to have a lot of possession. I expect them to try and play through the lines, which they are very accomplished at. The likes of, I don't know if Barrios will be right back in. I think he has been injured for a while. And I don't know if he'll be back in. I know he's back in training. I don't know if he'll be right back into the middle, but they do have some good technicians. Obviously, Simeone's son is a bit of a pest when he plays. He's one of those annoying players that just doesn't stop running, doesn't stop working. Obviously, they got Julian Alvarez up top is the man to look out for. And I don't buy all this they've been injured and they've been resting them is what it is. They completely have just given up on the league, foregone the league, and they're resting their players for this game. So their league form is not a good indication of where they will be at in this match. Their Champions League form has been fantastic, and they have rested everybody. What's up, Ali? I hope you're well as well. Going to be a tough game as Lindy. We're not in the best of form at the moment. I agree. I definitely think we are in a moment where we're, kind of stumbling and struggling to get over the line. But I do think this game suits us in that I expect Atletico to actually come forward, to actually try to play through the lines. And I think that we're pretty comfortable, as we've seen in recent times, not having as much of the possession, which is never my favorite. I've always thought that we're best when we control games by having the ball and not giving the team, our opposition, anything going the other way. But this game is not necessarily suited to that because, of course, as we know, Atletico are dynamite, lightning, and ruthless on counters. So Arsenal and Arteta are probably going to look to mitigate and minimize the amount of counterattacks we have to face, the amount of plays and passages of play where we're running towards our own goal, trying to defend. I think that will be tight and compact, especially in the center. I think that, I'm just reading here that they're saying Alvarez was missed 4 La Liga matches, but he's fine. He's going to be fine, yeah. But I think that we're going to clog the middle of the field and sit back, maybe a mid to low block, and make sure that we don't let them get space in behind and make us run towards our own goal. I think that's crucial versus this Atletico side. I think it's going to be absolutely critical. And, of course, there are going to be some key matchups to look out for. I expect Llorente to play down that right-hand side. Fantastic getting up and back. So they've got some real quality that we're going to have to look out for. And I don't think, like I said, as much as I make the jokes about it being whose parked bus is going to be more effective, I think Atletico are going to come at this. I think that they know, as many teams do, how difficult it is to score at the Emirates. Pardon me. And so I expect that they're going to want to press their home advantage. I think they're going to want to really get a lead like they've done in the last two-legged ties they've played, both versus Barcelona. They've come forward in the first leg, 4 goals in that first one. They've really, really come at Barca in those two first leg games. And so I kind of expect the same approach from Simeone. It'll be interesting to see who starts up top. Of course, Alexander Sorloth, the understudy to Erling Haaland at Norway, is going to be big. He's obviously massive. Griezmann is the X factor. And how Saliba and Gabriel deal with Julian Alvarez as well is going to be very, very important. But honestly, as much as that's what I expect, we're definitely going to need goals. But I think that Arteta is going to be more focused on getting those goals at the Emirates. And I think that he's going to sit back, obviously, and, let Atleti have the ball and try and break ourselves. But I think that if we sit way too far back and let them have the ball, it'll end up being more like the second half or the second 60 minutes versus City in that Carabao Cup final, where we can't get out and they're just punching it in and coming at us and wave after wave after wave. And I think that if that's the approach and if that's the dynamic of the game, we're in trouble. I absolutely think that means we're going to be in trouble if that's the approach. And so, as I've said on this channel many times before, I think that it's very, very important that we press them high like we did versus City in the league game. And we did it to, some good effect in that game. Obviously, it didn't work out in the end on the scoreline, but I thought we played well. And I thought that as far as a defensive tactic, it's far more important that we push high up the field and make it really difficult for them to play through the lines. Obviously, as good as they are, they're probably going to get through us a couple of times, but I think it's crucial that we, don't just concede half the field every single time they get the ball. And we normally don't do that. And so I really, really hope that we, get in their face and make them make mistakes, win the ball high, and punish them ruthlessly. Because it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the academic magnet high school, where I played ball back in the day, or if you are Julian Alvarez or Jan Oblak or whoever the keeper is going to be, it doesn't matter. If you get pressured, eventually, pressured, hustled, and harried, eventually you'll make a mistake. Nobody's perfect. And I think that needs to be kind of the approach. We just don't want another two legs like Sporting, but the Champions League will always be tougher the further you go in the competition. Hey, Ali, I'll be honest with you. I don't care what it's like. I don't care what the dynamic is. If we win, if we get to the final, then yeah, that's all that matters. There's, at this point, yes, the league remit is a bit different. We got to score goals, or at least score more goals than City do in the run-in. But as far as the Champions League semifinal, just win. Just win. I think last season we were awed by the occasion. To be honest with you, I think that, Paris definitely, was a very high-profile team. They were raring to go. They hadn't won their first Champions League yet. They haven't done so now. I think that we were just a little bit awed by being in that situation for the first time. And now that we've been there, done that, got the licks and the scars to prove it, I think that for many of them, especially like for Saka, for Odegaard, for Rice, I think that the occasion won't be that much of an issue. Obviously, also, it's an opponent that, we might be favorite over two legs. That I haven't actually checked what the bookies are saying, but it's time where, despite not winning it and despite not having won the league for forever, it's time we realize that we deserve to be here. It's time we stand up and be like, look, we are good enough to be here. We are good enough to win this. We're going to win this. That needs to be the philosophy. It's time to be like, enough of the underdog story, enough of the, we've never won this, so we don't, deserve to be here. We might not have the minerals to get it over the line, as they say, or whatever. Damn all that. We deserve to be here as much as they deserve to be here. They haven't won. They have never won one either. Yes, they've been to a couple finals, but we've been to a final. So, and this is our second. Only our fourth ever semifinal. But the second one in a row. I think it's time. I think it's time that all that just goes to the wayside, and we are as good, if not a better team on paper than they are, and we absolutely can go toe to toe, blow to blow with them. I'm not setting too much store by the 4-0 in the group stage. Of course, we beat Paris last season in group stage and lost. Ali, if I had to choose, I'm going to stay consistent with what I've been saying all season. I'm going Premier League. Give me the Premier League. The Champions League is a unicorn that, if we get it, we get it. That's amazing. But the Premier League is the bread and butter. That's the number one priority every season, no matter how far we get in any other competition. I want the Premier League. Please, God, give me the league. So if I had to choose, if you put a gun to my head and said, well, you can't have, I would, if you promise, here, I'll put it this way. If you promised me that losing in the semifinal would guarantee the Premier League victory, I'd take it right now. I would take it right now. But I agree with this as well. Give me both. Why can't we do both? I 100% think we can do both. And so yes, if you guaranteed it, if there was some magic wand you could wave that there's a guarantee that, if I lose the Champions League, I win the Premier League, then yes. But of course, there is no magic genie. There is no lamp to rub. There is no wand, that can make that happen. And so I want both. I absolutely want both. And I absolutely think that both are still there to be won. But I think that in this one, yeah, we can speak on, how we're going to try to counterattack them. We're going to be comfortable without the ball. We need to clog the midfield. Obviously, we want to win second balls. We want to force, I think it's Unai Simon is the goalkeeper, to hit it long. We want to force that, and we want to play our game. But this is definitely going to come down to mentality and straight up who wants it more. Because it's going to be a battle in the midfield. It's absolutely going to be a battle in the midfield. Declan Rice, and I did see that Zubamendi actually might be a doubt because he was sick. He played through illness in the Newcastle game, and he may not be available, which is very, very interesting. I hope he's fine. We definitely need Martin in there. It was interesting to see Lewis Skelly come in instead of Norgard when they did decide to sub Zubamendi, and so it's very, very interesting, I think, that he was sick and came off because of the illness. So we'll see, obviously, monitor that situation as things progress closer to the game tomorrow. But I definitely think that it is I definitely think that it's going to be a very interesting game. We definitely need it. Yeah, the thing about Norgard is so weird. This one is so weird to me. Like, why has he never been, why has Arteta not let him play in the Zubi role? Like, he seems perfectly fit for being the deputy for Martin Zubamendi. And now, as things have progressed in the season, it seems that Mikel Merino was that for Arteta. And now that Merino's gone down, like, you don't want to try Norgard in there? It seems that Arteta only wants to play Norgard when we're playing a single, like, defensive midfielder. Instead of having the double pivot, Norgard can only play by himself as the lone six, which is, it doesn't make any sense to me because was the captain of Brentford, played every game last season. He starts for Denmark. Why do we not think that he can play the double pivot alongside Declan Rice? That's been a huge mystery to me this season. And I don't see why he can't play the Zubamendi role alongside Declan Rice, but we haven't seen it. Your guess is as good as mine out there, people. I have no clue what that is about. He offered a lot to Brentford, just not just defensive. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. This one's baffling to me. Very, very baffling to me. And it just makes sense. Like, Zubamendi's flagging. He's tired. He's gotten so tired now that he's gotten sick, and you could have solved that by giving Norgard minutes, by having Zubi come off in the 70th minute every now and again, every third or fourth game or whatever, and that would say that literally, if we've played 55 games, if he would have come off in 20% of the games, if he just would have come off in 6 games for 20 minutes and let Norgard play from 70 to 90 for 20 minutes in 6 games, that's 2 full games, or that's 2 hours of footy that Zubamendi would be rested. He would still have in the tank. 2 whole hours. And that may not seem like much, but when it comes down in the run-in like it is now, I'm just saying, so maybe, there was another option, but Arteta doesn't want to do that option. Who knows why? And so, yep, Martin Zubimendi is going to be tired, but we need him. We obviously need them. And I think that it's very, very, very important not to concede first or early. I'm not gonna be excited if we lose 1-0, 2-0. But I don't think it'd be over if we do. I think we do need to score one goal. I would love a 1-1, or if we score first, that would be glorious. Score first and just park the bus and just absolutely 17 double-deckers in the goal. See, Ali, I'm different. I'm so different than Arteta. I'm so different than Arteta. But in this specific situation, in this specific dynamic, I think I actually stink it out. I actually absolutely stink it out in this one. Play against the ball, let them have the ball, and then try to make them make mistakes and press them to death. And try to minimize the counterattacks that they can use, that they do so well. Try to minimize the space in the middle. And then I try to smash Fulham on Saturday. And then at home, damn the torpedoes, all out, send everything in the second leg would be my approach. Get through this game, make it disgusting, dark tactics, time waste, tower on ball, all that stuff. Get into the second leg with a draw or maybe only behind by 1, and then absolutely send it. Send everything on next Tuesday at the Emirates Stadium. Everything. The ball boy, the water boy, the kit man, every single thing we got. Send it all. And so that would be my approach to this particular tie, because I also want goals on goals on goals versus Fulham at the Emirates on Saturday, because of course, as you say, why can't we win both? Now, as far as the lineup is concerned, I definitely unequivocally do not want to see Ben White again at the back. He wasn't horrendous versus Newcastle, but he did not inspire any confidence either. What's up, Lumen? Appreciate you. Hope you're well. He didn't inspire confidence either. So I really think that we should not play Ben White. Definitely play Christian Mosquera. I think Hincapié was very, very good versus Newcastle. He's been doing well, so he should start. I don't think Calafiore's fit anyway. And, of course, Gabriel Saliba and Raya. In the middle, yeah, again, Zubi, Declan, Odegaard. Eze, Gyökeres, Saka is my lineup. And, I'll touch in on the Havertz versus Gyökeres stuff. Like, Havertz, man, Havertz is doing my head in. And the Gyökeres hate is also doing my head in. The people saying that we should sell Gyökeres already, and that Havertz is better, and that Havertz moves into space better, and he's more fluid, and he's faster, etc. All this, and I understand why people think that. That he just looks better on the eye as far as movement and kind of a bit of a grace running around the pitch, kind of a fluidity that just Victor doesn't seem to have. He just looks a bit clunkier on the eye. He seems a bit, slower, I guess. I've heard many things, but he's better in the things that we need him to be better at. He is a better target man. I think he stretches defenses a lot better. Kai Havertz comes way deep a little bit too often, and kind of in times that I don't think he needs to. And it infuriates me because when he does come deep, Kai Havertz, and gets the ball, he doesn't ever do anything. A lot of times when Havertz comes deep, he comes back, he'll get the ball, and then there'll be space for him to turn and go, and he doesn't do it. He'll just pass it backwards. You know, it's not about glazing Gyökeres. It's about comparing him to absolute shit. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The striker, the number 9, the person up top of our formation is there to score goals, to finish. He's there to get us over the line and win the game and win the league and win the Champions League. Kai Havertz has never, not ever, not once been good enough to win the league for Arsenal. Not once. Not ever. Not even in his best run of form in an Arsenal shirt was it good enough. It was decent. Yeah, he had definitely had a good run in 23-24 when we won 17 of 19. He definitely had a good run, scored some goals. Was it good enough? No. So we brought someone in to be good enough. And he's got 18 goals this season. He has 20 G&A in all competitions, Victor Gyökeres. And so not playing the guy that has the most goals in the team is asinine. Mikel Arteta over and 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 over again has played Kai Havertz in big games, and it has not worked over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. What is the definition of insanity? The definition of stupidity. Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different outcome. Kai Havertz has let Mikel Arteta and the rest of us down time in and time out. Time and time again. And so do something different, man. Do something different. I think Atletico, Lumen, are more confident of going through. You know, they probably have a little bit more experience in these late stages. I would say Diego Simeone definitely has a little bit more experience in the late stages. So I think they're probably more confident, but I'm confident as well that we match up well with them. I'm confident that we absolutely can go toe-to-toe with them. You know, I think that, you know, like I said, when the opportunities come to the number 9, we need a bagsman. We need somebody who's going to dunk the goals in. Kai Havertz ain't that man. Never has been, never will be. You know, and so at the end of the day, whatever you think of the fluidity, whatever you think of the build-up play, whatever you think of what Kai Havertz adds to the attack, he ain't adding goals. He ain't adding goals. You know, I'll tell you that much right now. You know, so, and I still firmly stand on the fact that Gyökeres scores the chance versus Man City that Havertz spurned. I absolutely do. I think we create better chances with Victor in the team. I think we need to look for him more often. I definitely think we need to look for him more often. I don't understand it. You know, maybe you could make a case that the players maybe trust Havertz more themselves, which is stupid, which I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's dumb that they do that. I've seen moments where, you know, Odegaard in the Newcastle game could have played Gyökeres in, but instead he didn't. He went for it himself. Or Trossard I've seen a couple of times. If you play the man the ball, he's going to score. I'm telling you that right now. Get the man the ball in shooting positions and he will score. And I thought that we definitely kind of adapted our game, you know, when Havertz and Gyökeres are in there respectively. We do different things. I actually don't like that we necessarily we tend to hit it long more often when Gyökeres is in the team, and I get that and I'm okay with that, but I think we need to try a little bit of a mix and not necessarily just hit long balls when Gyökeres is there. You know, goes back to Arteta, Odion so many times to supply Gyökeres, they never do it. We know that. I agree. I agree with this. And this right here is spot on. This right here is spot on. I don't think you trust players in the end game of the season. I mean, how can he, Ali? How can he? You know, we've never gotten it over the line, and none of them have gotten over the line. But Arteta's going to have to. He's going to have to trust, and he's trusted Havertz over and over and over and over and over again, who's let him down over and over and over and over and over again. You know, And we brought Gyökeres in to fix that. So why not play him? For me, Gyökeres starts every game for the rest of the season if I'm the manager. But as we know, Arteta doesn't tend to do the things that I tell him to do. Obviously, he's been ignoring my phone calls recently. It's kind of annoying, honestly, but we definitely need Victor in these games, in my opinion. Havertz can come in and finish, as Arteta calls it. He could be the finisher instead of the starter. And I think that will suit us just fine. I think that we need it. I think that we bought Victor Gyökeres to win the Champions League. In my opinion, that is why we bought Victor Gyökeres, to win the Champions League. You got to play him. And I think if we find him, I definitely think he scores goals in both legs. But I do expect this to be, more entertaining than a lot of people are saying. Obviously, I'm just steering into the skid with the double-decker derby stuff, and doing that for laughs or whatever. I do think this is going to be a bit more open than many people are expecting. I do think, it's a Champions League semifinal. It's going to be fun. It's going to be nervy, but I'm absolutely pumped for it. It's going to be a whole, really, really, really big game. Lots of pressure, but I think we can handle it. You wouldn't risk Saka. What do you mean you wouldn't risk Saka for this one? What are we saving him for? There's nothing to save him for. There's no more risking. It's you got to risk it for the biscuit now, Ali. You got to risk it for the biscuit. You got to do. At this point, there's no more handbrake on. There's no more holding people back. We need our best team for the next 7 games. Straight up, in my opinion, we have to have our best players play as often as possible for the next 7 games to get one of these, or maybe even both these trophies over the line. Saka has to start. Like, there's no other, like, I would definitely 100% play Saka, even if it's a risk, even if it's a doubt. We need our best players. I think if we try to play, there's no one behind Saka that gives you any confidence, though. Like, if Madueke plays, we're effed. We're absolutely effed. Like, if he starts Madueke and Ben White again together on the right-hand side, it's going to be a nightmare. And I'll probably scream at the TV. I'll probably be so pissed if we do that, because that is asinine. It's asking to get wrecked down that left-hand side for Madrid. We need Saka, 100%. We need the talisman. We need, he gives a much bigger fear factor than freaking Madueke. Like, my grandma's not afraid when Madueke lines up against her. His end product is so bad. It's terrible. He's awful. Like, good for you. You can hit the ball past somebody and do a jinky and run by him. That's great. But you're damn near scared the corner flag every time you get past your man with the shot, or the ball goes into Rosette. Like, we have to have Saka. We have to have Saka. 100%. Gotta have him. Absolutely have to have him. And like I told Anton on the upset alert last week, if we play the death squad for the next 7 games, as he calls it, Rice, Zubi, Odegaard, Eze, Gyökeres, Saka, I think there could be something very, very special at the end of this season, or maybe 2 somethings that are very, very special at the end of the season. But yeah, I'm actually quietly confident about this one. A 1-1 would be beautiful. I'm fine with a 0-0, and a win in Spain would absolutely be dreamland stuff. But of course, it's going to be nervy, but I'm going to be up for it, and I hope the boys are up for it as well. Mikel definitely going to have to give an amazing win one for the Gipper speech, but at the end of the day, they deserve to be there. They deserve every second of it, and this is where we want to be. We want this pressure on our shoulders, because it means we're in there with a chance to do something absolutely incredible this season. And so, yeah, I'm incredibly excited about this one. Obviously, I'm excited about the game today as well. Paris versus Bayern is going to be absolutely epic. This is why we love the Champions League. So make sure you're smashing up the likes on this one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would definitely be. I don't even know, Ali. I don't know how to call this one. I don't know how to call this one, man. Bayern are flying. PSG are flying. It's going to be absolutely epic. And, either way, it's going to be a tough final regardless, and actually what it has set up for is you have the two attacking teams are going to play against each other and have the best attacking team in the competition versus the two defensive teams are playing against each other in the semifinal. So you're going to have attack versus defense, no matter who wins, no matter who goes through into the final. Honestly, I think I would rather play. I don't know because they both give up goals. Both Bayern and Paris will give you chances going the other way. I mean, who was it at the weekend that scored three, that were up 3-0 on Bayern? They were up 3-0 on Bayern at halftime, and then companies like, all right, brought in the starters for half the game, and they scored 4 goals and won 4-3. But Paris also give you. I mean, didn't Chelsea score 3 goals against Paris or 2 goals against Paris? So they give goals going the other direction as well. So I don't know. I think it's a toss up because I don't think it matters, honestly. Both sets of attacking players are crazy. Yeah. You just kind of have to find like something to latch on to. But I will tell you this: beating Harry Kane to a Champions League final would that would feel amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. I got nothing against. I mean, I do have a lot against Harry Kane. I think I have a lot of respect for him. I'll put it that way. He's one of the best Englishmen around, obviously, and he's having a phenomenal season. But to beat him would be amazing. Would be absolutely amazing. He's brought us a lot of pain. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't think it matters. Honestly, I think it's the same animal, crazy, crazy good attack, but they'll give you opportunities going the other way. I think you can say that about either team. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who I want. Doesn't matter. Just bring me the trophy is really all I'm feeling at the moment. And speaking of, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new, as I was saying. Make sure you're smashing up the likes. And, of course, hit that notification bell on so you know when we go live. There will be plenty more content coming down the way. Come on, you Gunners. Thanks for everyone being here. And we'll see you next time.